Number 10. Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam was one of the most over superstars on WWE's roster throughout his tenure in the company, often switching between the mid to upper card. During his time in WWE, RVD managed to secure several championship wins, including the Intercontinental title, tag team titles, and even the WWE Championship itself, although it'd be fairly short-lived. However, one title that always evaded RVD was the United States Championship. RVD wouldn't really ever get a chance to challenge for the belt, as most of his career was spent over on Monday Night Raw, which was home to the Intercontinental title, and the United States title being over on SmackDown. However, during RVD's second run within the company, he would get a chance to challenge for the title, most notably at SummerSlam 2013 against Dean Ambrose during his record title reign. RVD looked to have the match won, but unfortunately Roman Reigns would spear him to cause a DQ finish and help Ambrose retain. After this, RVD wouldn't really set his sights on capturing the title again, and the belt has evaded him ever since. Number 9. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was one of WWE's most unique and bizarre superstars of all time, setting him on a level of his own. Wyatt's uniqueness found him mostly involved with upper-card talent and around the main event scene. Wyatt would capture the tag team championships during his career, but never really set his sights on the mid-card titles, mostly due to the top-level feuds he found himself in. Wyatt did go on to capture the WWE and Universal titles as well, but has found himself following in the footsteps of names like The Undertaker, Mick Foley, and Jake the Snake Roberts as special characters that never needed an undercard title to succeed. Unlike Jake the Snake though, Bray Wyatt at least won a world title in his WWE career, putting him on the level of Mick Foley and The Undertaker. Number 8. Mark Henry. Mark Henry had been with the WWE since the days of WCW still being alive. You'd think when the world's strongest man debuted that he would have no problem capturing gold whenever he wanted. However, for most of Henry's career, he went without any championships. It wasn't till much later in his career when things finally fell into place for the big man. Henry would capture the European title during the Attitude Era, but his most noticeable and memorable championship reigns would be his time as ECW champion and WWE's World Heavyweight Champion with his legendary Hall of Pain run. Henry would challenge for the US title, and you'd think the big Texan would have been a fitting US champ, but he would often come up short when challenging the likes of Dean Ambrose, Rusev, and The Miz. Number 7. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has carved his path to the very pinnacle of WWE, having won the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 36, and is still a steady main eventer ever since. However, the path to the top was never easy for McIntyre, having gone from the very bottom of the card to the very top, and even leaving the company at one point. During his initial run, he would receive a push as Vince McMahon's chosen one, winning the Intercontinental title on SmackDown, where he would spend the majority of his time. However, when McIntyre made it to Raw, he would be a part of the 3MB jobber stable and would never really challenge for the US title. Since his return, however, McIntyre has been solely focused on the main event scene and capturing world titles, but with McIntyre currently on the Raw brand and his career being far from over, never say never to potentially seeing a Scottish United States champion. Number 6. Big E. Big E has always been a fan favourite within the WWE, and has not only had huge success with the New Day faction, but has even won the WWE Championship. Unfortunately, Big E would go on to suffer an awful neck injury known as a Jefferson fracture back in March of 2022. He has been out of action ever since, but has made good progress with his recovery. Fans long await the return of Big E, as his singles run never really had enough time to fully showcase what the big man is capable of. Big E has even won the Intercontinental Championship, yet has never really been involved within the United States title picture. But as we all know in the WWE, never say never, as a returning Big E might have his sights set on more singles championships, including the US title. Number 5. Christian. Through most of his WWE career, Christian was one of the top tag team wrestlers in the company. He won 9 World Tag Team titles, the Intercontinental title 4 times, and would eventually go on to capture the ECW and WWE World Heavyweight titles late in his career. Christian has always been praised by fans and peers as being one of the best minds within the ring, and has a legendary career to back it up. He would have countless memorable matches against the likes of Chris Jericho, Rob Van Dam, Booker T, Dolph Ziggler, and many more over the Intercontinental title, and would have for sure left his mark on the United States title as well. Christian is currently a part of the AEW roster as the reigning TNT champion in what many argue is his best run of his career. If Christian were to ever return to the WWE, there isn't much else left for him to do except capture the United States Championship. Number 4. CM Punk. When it comes to the straight edge saviour CM Punk, there isn't many things he hasn't accomplished in pro wrestling, but one of those things is that he has never won the United States Championship. The title currently prevents Punk from becoming a Grand Slam champion within the WWE, and during his initial run within the company, when working his way up the ranks, he would hold the Intercontinental title after beating William Regal, as well as the tag team titles. Of course, Punk would skyrocket into the main event scene and has stayed there ever since, no matter what promotion he lands in. Now, after Punk's shocking return at WWE Survivor Series 2023, it looks like his sights are again set on the WWE and World Heavyweight titles, but as this may be Punk's last run within wrestling, who knows if a United States title reign is on the horizon. Number 3. Braun Strowman. The Monster Among Men received quite a big push from his debut up until modern times. He was originally introduced as part of the legendary Wyatt family, before branching out and entering a number of memorable feuds against the likes of Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, and even Shane McMahon. Strowman was mostly involved in top-tier storylines and has captured a number of championships along the way, from defeating Goldberg at WrestleMania 36 for the Universal title, to winning the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, and even winning the tag team titles with a child called Nicholas in the crowd at WrestleMania 34. Strowman would also capture the Intercontinental title, with the United States Championship being one of the only title in WWE that he hasn't held. Strowman has rarely challenged for the title and came up on the short end when he did. But if WWE decided to push Strowman again, there's no doubt you could see a United States title reign in his future. Number 2. Batista. The Animal Batista became a top star thanks to his role in Evolution, and just like Randy Orton, he used Evolution to catapult himself into the world title scene. He would go on to defeat Triple H in the main event of WrestleMania 21 for his first world championship, and was a permanent stay in the main event scene ever since, having a number of legendary rivalries with the likes of The Undertaker, Eddie Guerrero, Triple H, and many more. However, outside of winning the tag team titles, Batista was never someone who bothered with the lower tier titles. Batista won multiple world titles and Royal Rumbles, but never won the Intercontinental or United States Championship during his very successful WWE tenure. Number 1. Umaga. The late great Umaga was mostly a mainstay on the Raw brand during his time in WWE, and although he would capture the Intercontinental title twice and eventually be catapulted into the main event scene with a highly underrated rivalry against John Cena for the WWE Championship, Umaga would even feature as Mr. McMahon's representative in the Battle of the Billionaires at WrestleMania 23 against Bobby Lashley and Donald Trump. He would then go on to mix with the likes of Triple H, Jeff Hardy, CM Punk, and many more, but would unfortunately be released by the WWE in June of 2009 and sadly passed away months later in December of the same year at age 36. Had Umaga have been around today, you could have been sure a WWE return would have been likely, with multiple championships and key storylines such as the Bloodline being a perfect fit for the Samoan Bulldozer. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more wrestling content.